Have you ever wondered why happiness feels so elusive, even when you seem to have everything you thought you wanted? In a world that never stops demanding more of us, more success, more possessions, more achievements, how do we find true joy and fulfillment? Here's the truth. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something you create. It's not hidden in the future or buried in the past. It's right here, in this very moment, waiting to be discovered. Today, we're diving into timeless wisdom rooted in Buddhist philosophy, unraveling the secrets to cultivating lasting happiness. These principles are not abstract ideas, but practical tools that can change the way you live, think, and feel. We'll explore how gratitude can transform your mindset, why relationships hold the key to joy, and how mindfulness can unlock a life of clarity and peace. We'll also uncover the incredible power of selfless giving, the importance of purpose over perfection, and the beauty of embracing change as a pathway to growth. But here's the twist. This isn't just about understanding happiness, it's about living it. And by the end of this video, you'll have actionable steps to start making these life-changing principles a part of your everyday routine. Before we get started, do me a quick favor, hit that like button to support this channel, and share this video with someone who could use a little more peace and happiness in their life. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our transformative content. Now, let's embark on this journey together and unlock the path to a happier life. Happiness is not something that we stumble upon by accident or achieve through external accomplishments alone. It is deeply rooted in our perspective, relationships, and inner balance. In Buddhist philosophy, the principles that lead to happiness emphasize simplicity, mindfulness, and the interconnectedness of all things. These ideas, while ancient, resonate profoundly in our modern lives, offering a pathway to fulfillment and tranquility amidst the chaos. Let's delve into these principles and uncover how they can transform the way we experience life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices for cultivating happiness. It allows us to shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. In a world where social media and advertisements constantly remind us of what we don't possess, gratitude serves as a counterbalance. Take a moment to think about a sunny morning walk or the simple joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. These are everyday miracles that we often overlook. When you focus on these moments, you realize that happiness isn't tied to material wealth or grand achievements, but lies in appreciating the beauty of the present. For example, think about how a parent feels when a child hugs them unexpectedly. It's a fleeting moment, but it carries immense emotional weight. Starting a gratitude journal, where you jot down 3 things you're thankful for each day, can help you cultivate this mindset over time. This practice trains your brain to notice the good, even on difficult days. Relationships are another cornerstone of happiness. Humans are inherently social beings, and our connections with others define much of our emotional well-being. Buddhist teachings emphasize compassion and understanding in relationships, urging us to approach interactions with empathy and kindness. Think about how you feel after a meaningful conversation with a close friend. It's rejuvenating, isn't it? Contrast that with the emptiness of superficial exchanges or strained relationships. When we prioritize quality time with loved ones, we enrich not only our own lives, but theirs as well. Simple actions, like calling an old friend or lending a listening ear to a coworker, can make a profound difference. A relatable example is the joy of family gatherings during the holidays. While they may be chaotic, the love and connection shared in those moments leave a lasting impact. Buddhism also teaches forgiveness in relationships, encouraging us to let go of resentment and approach conflicts with a desire to heal rather than win. Mindfulness, or the practice of living in the present, is central to Buddhist philosophy. Too often, we dwell on past mistakes or worry about future uncertainties, missing the richness of the current moment. Imagine savoring a hot cup of coffee in the morning, fully present to its warmth, aroma, and taste. That single mindful experience can set a positive tone for the rest of the day. In contrast, rushing through the morning while mentally running through a to-do list robs you of that simple pleasure. Mindfulness isn't about erasing thoughts, but observing them without judgment. It's like watching clouds drift across the sky. They come and go, but you remain grounded. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or even taking a walk and paying attention to your surroundings can help you anchor yourself in the present. Over time, mindfulness reduces stress and increases your capacity for joy, enabling you to experience life more fully. The pursuit of purpose rather than perfection is another transformative idea. In our culture, perfection is often celebrated, but it is an unattainable goal that leads to frustration and self-doubt. Buddhism teaches us to let go of this need for flawlessness and instead focus on living with intention and meaning. Consider a student striving for perfect grades versus one who is passionate about learning. The former may experience constant anxiety, while the latter finds fulfillment in the process of growth. Purpose doesn't have to be monumental. It could be as simple as helping others, nurturing relationships, or pursuing a creative hobby. For instance, think about people who volunteer at food banks or animal shelters. Their efforts may not change the world, but they bring immense value to their lives and those they help. By focusing on what truly matters to us, we free ourselves from the pressure of perfection and open the door to authentic living. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet it often brings discomfort and resistance. Buddhist philosophy frames change as a natural and essential aspect of growth. Instead of fearing change, we are encouraged to embrace it as an opportunity for transformation. Think about how seasons transition from winter to spring. The harshness of winter gives way to the renewal of life in spring, and this cycle continues without resistance. In our personal lives, change might look like moving to a new city, starting a new job, or ending a relationship. Initially, these transitions may feel daunting, but they often lead to growth and unexpected opportunities. Reflect on a time when a significant change in your life brought about positive outcomes. Perhaps a career shift introduced you to new passions, or a challenging breakup led to personal growth and deeper self-awareness. By viewing change as a teacher rather than an obstacle, we can navigate life's uncertainties with greater resilience and openness. Caring for both the mind and body is crucial for a balanced, happy life. In Buddhism, the interconnection between mental and physical well-being is emphasized. Consider how you feel after a good night's sleep or a refreshing workout. Your mind is clearer, your mood lighter, and your capacity for joy greater. Similarly, a cluttered or stressed mind can manifest physically, leading to fatigue or illness. Practices like yoga, tai chi, or simply mindful walking bridge the gap between mental and physical health. On a more practical level, taking care of your body through proper nutrition, exercise, and rest creates a solid foundation for emotional well-being. For instance, the simple act of drinking enough water throughout the day can significantly improve your focus and energy. Additionally, mental self-care such as setting boundaries in relationships or reducing screen time helps maintain emotional balance. Small, consistent habits in both realms lead to a more harmonious and fulfilling life. Generosity is the final key to happiness. The act of giving without expecting anything in return fosters a sense of abundance and interconnectedness. Think about how you feel after helping a neighbor or donating to a cause you care about. That warmth and satisfaction come not from material gain, but from the joy of contributing to someone else's well-being. Generosity doesn't always have to involve money. Giving your time, sharing your knowledge, or simply offering kindness can be equally impactful. For example, holding the door open for someone or volunteering at a local shelter are small acts that ripple outward, creating positivity in your community. Buddhism highlights the concept of dana, or selfless giving, as a way to transcend attachment and cultivate inner peace. When we give freely, we shift our focus from personal desires to the greater good, fostering a deeper sense of purpose and connection. By weaving these principles into our daily lives, we begin to see happiness not as a distant goal, but as a practice we can cultivate. Gratitude helps us appreciate what we have. Strong relationships ground us in love and compassion. Mindfulness keeps us present and open to life's beauty. Pursuing purpose liberates us from the chains of perfectionism. Embracing change allows us to grow. Caring for our mind and body creates balance. And generosity connects us to the world in profound ways. Together, These teachings form a roadmap to a life of deeper joy, resilience, and fulfillment. Gratitude is a transformative mindset that enables us to see the richness of our lives, even in the most mundane or challenging moments. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of cultivating gratitude as a way to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. It's easy to get caught up in chasing bigger dreams or solving immediate problems. But when we pause to acknowledge the blessings already present, life feels fuller and more abundant. A warm sunrise, a stranger's smile, or even the opportunity to take a deep breath, all these moments carry value that we often overlook. A well-known story illustrates this concept beautifully. A farmer loses his only horse, a critical asset for his livelihood. His neighbors express sympathy, believing this loss to be a catastrophe. The farmer, however, responds with remarkable composure, saying, "Who knows what is good or bad?" Days later, the horse returns, bringing with it a herd of wild horses. The neighbors now celebrate his fortune, but again, the farmer calmly remarks, "Who knows what is good or bad?" This story continues to unfold, with every perceived misfortune eventually leading to unexpected blessings. The lesson here is clear. Life is unpredictable, and gratitude allows us to embrace its twists and turns with acceptance rather than judgment. In modern life, we often fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies in achieving milestones, earning a promotion, buying a dream house, or receiving recognition. While these moments do bring joy, they are fleeting. Gratitude, on the other hand, cultivates a more enduring sense of contentment. Imagine someone who spends years saving for a luxurious vacation. They finally take the trip, but during the journey, they are so focused on capturing perfect photos or planning the next activity that they miss the simple pleasure of being present. Contrast this with someone who enjoys a quiet evening in their backyard, savoring the colors of the sunset. The difference lies in appreciating the moment, no matter how small or grand. Starting a gratitude journal is a practical way to nurture this mindset. Each evening, spend 5 minutes writing down 3 specific things you are grateful for. These could range from major events, like reconnecting with an old friend, to minor details, like the crispness of a fresh apple. Over time, this practice trains your mind to notice positivity naturally. Research in neuroscience supports this. Consistent gratitude exercises can rewire the brain, enhancing our capacity for happiness and reducing our tendency to focus on negativity. Think of it like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger your sense of gratitude becomes. Gratitude also has a ripple effect. When you express appreciation, it often inspires others to do the same. Consider how a simple thank you can brighten someone's day. A barista who receives genuine thanks for making your coffee is more likely to pass that positive energy along to the next customer. This chain reaction not only strengthens personal connections, but also fosters a more supportive and compassionate community. On a larger scale, people who consistently practice gratitude tend to approach challenges with resilience and optimism, rather than dwelling on setbacks. They focus on what remains within their control and what lessons can be learned. However, cultivating gratitude doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties. There are moments of loss, disappointment, and struggle that cannot be brushed aside with a positive outlook. In these instances, gratitude serves as a tool to find balance. For example, someone going through a tough breakup might feel consumed by sadness. Yet, amidst this pain, they can also appreciate the lessons learned from the relationship or the support offered by friends and family. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, but it provides perspective, reminding us that even in dark times, there are sparks of light to hold on to. Take the example of Helen Keller, who lost her sight and hearing at a young age. Instead of succumbing to despair, she cultivated immense gratitude for her teacher, Anne Sullivan, and the opportunities to learn and communicate. Her gratitude became a driving force that propelled her to achieve remarkable feats and inspire millions. Her life story is a testament to how gratitude can transform limitations into possibilities. Gratitude can also be applied in daily routines. Imagine commuting to work. Instead of focusing on traffic, You could appreciate the time to listen to a favorite podcast or enjoy the view of trees lining the road while preparing a meal. Instead of seeing it as a chore, you could take a moment to value the nourishment the food provides and the effort of those who grew and harvested it. These subtle shifts in perception make even routine activities more meaningful and fulfilling. For families, gratitude can become a shared practice. Some households incorporate it into mealtime, where each family member shares one thing they're thankful for that day. This simple ritual not only builds stronger family bonds, but also instills a habit of gratitude in children from a young age. In workplaces, teams that celebrate small wins and express appreciation for each other often report higher morale and productivity. In times of uncertainty, such as during a global crisis or personal loss, gratitude can serve as an anchor, reflecting on what remains steady, whether it's health, friendships, or access to basic needs grounds us in reality and fosters hope. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote about finding gratitude even in the darkest circumstances. He observed how prisoners who focused on small joys, like a kind gesture or a glimpse of sunlight, were better able to maintain their spirit. In essence, gratitude is more than an occasional feeling. It is a way of life. It reshapes how we perceive the world, turning moments of scarcity into opportunities for abundance. By practicing gratitude consistently, we cultivate a sense of peace that withstands life's unpredictability. Whether through journaling, mindful reflection, or simply saying thank you, gratitude is a superpower that can transform not just how we feel but how we live. The journey begins with a single thought: what am I grateful for today? Relationships form the bedrock of our happiness and well-being. This principle, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, highlights the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of nurturing our bonds with others. In a world where technology often substitutes for face-to-face interaction, the quality of our relationships can easily take a back seat. Yet, the richness of our lives often depends on the depth of our connections. Compassion, understanding, and mutual care create a sense of belonging that fosters lasting joy. Strong relationships require intentional effort and presence. Too often, we fall into the trap of shallow exchanges or distracted conversations. Imagine sitting at dinner with family while scrolling through your phone, physically present but emotionally distant. This disconnect erodes intimacy over time. On the other hand, when we engage in deeper conversations, actively listening and responding with genuine interest, our relationships flourish. I've personally experienced this transformation. By making time for uninterrupted discussions with loved ones, I noticed a profound shift in my own happiness. These moments of connection not only strengthened my relationships, but also gave me a renewed sense of purpose and support. The value of unity and connection is exemplified in a story from the Buddha's life. Two clans were embroiled in a bitter conflict over water rights, and tensions threatened to escalate into violence. The Buddha intervened, asking both sides to consider whether the lives of their people were worth less than the water they were fighting over. His wisdom emphasized the futility of division and the immeasurable value of human connection. The clans ultimately chose peace, realizing that their shared humanity outweighed their differences. This story serves as a timeless reminder of how compassion and understanding can heal rifts and bring people together. In our own lives, we often face moments of conflict or disconnection in relationships, whether it's a disagreement with a partner, a misunderstanding with a friend, or a long-standing family feud. These situations can be deeply painful. However, Buddhist teachings encourage us to approach such challenges with empathy and a willingness to reconcile. Forgiveness is a cornerstone of this approach. It doesn't mean condoning hurtful actions, but rather releasing the anger and resentment that weigh us down. Think about how freeing it feels to let go of a grudge. It's as though a heavy burden has been lifted, allowing space for healing and renewal. Practicing deep listening is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to nurture relationships. This means being fully present when someone is speaking, putting aside distractions, suspending judgment, and focusing entirely on their words and emotions. Imagine how it feels to be truly heard, to have someone listen without interrupting or offering unsolicited advice. It creates a safe space where trust and understanding can grow. The next time you're in a conversation, try this. Resist the urge to formulate your response while the other person is speaking. Instead, tune in fully to their message. You'll likely find that the quality of your interactions improves dramatically. Quality time is another essential ingredient for strong relationships. In our busy lives, it's easy to assume that proximity equates to connection, but this isn't always true. For example, sitting in the same room while each person is engrossed in their own screen doesn't build meaningful bonds. Compare this to an evening spent playing a board game, cooking together, or simply sharing stories from the day. These moments of undivided attention communicate love and care in a way that words alone cannot. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of the interactions that truly matter. Small acts of kindness also play a crucial role in strengthening relationships. A heartfelt compliment, an unexpected note of appreciation, or even a simple "how are you?" can brighten someone's day and deepen your connection with them. For instance, think about how you feel when a friend remembers your favorite coffee order or checks in on you during a tough week. These gestures may seem insignificant, but they build a foundation of trust and goodwill that sustains relationships over time. Compassion is another cornerstone of meaningful relationships. In Buddhism, compassion extends beyond merely sympathizing with others' pain. It involves a genuine desire to alleviate their suffering. This might mean offering emotional support to a friend going through a difficult time or lending a helping hand to a neighbor in need. Compassion also involves seeing things from another person's perspective, which fosters greater understanding and reduces conflict. Imagine a heated argument where both parties are focused solely on defending their own views. Now imagine if one person pauses to consider the other's feelings and motivations. This simple shift can defuse tension and pave the way for resolution. Relationships are not limited to romantic or familial ties. They extend to our communities and the world at large. Volunteering, participating in group activities, or simply being a kind and considerate neighbor can foster a sense of belonging that enhances overall well-being. For example, a study found that people who regularly engage in community service report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. These acts of connection remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, which is a source of profound fulfillment. It's also important to acknowledge that relationships evolve over time. Friendships may fade, family dynamics may change, and new connections may form. Buddhist teachings on impermanence remind us to embrace these changes rather than resist them. Holding on too tightly to how a relationship should be can lead to disappointment and frustration. Instead, we can appreciate the role that each person plays in our lives, whether they are a lifelong companion or a passing acquaintance. This mindset allows us to cherish the present moment with those we care about without becoming attached to a fixed outcome. Self-reflection is another valuable practice in maintaining healthy relationships. It's easy to focus on what others could do differently, but meaningful change often begins within ourselves. Ask yourself, am I showing up fully in my relationships? Am I offering the same level of care and attention that I hope to receive? By cultivating self-awareness and taking responsibility for our actions, we can create a more positive and supportive dynamic. At its core, the Buddhist principle that relationships are the foundation of happiness teaches us that connection is a fundamental human need. By prioritizing compassion, practicing deep listening, and dedicating quality time to the people who matter most, we enrich not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Strong relationships are not built overnight. They require ongoing effort, patience, and a willingness to grow together. Yet the rewards belonging, joy, and shared understanding are well worth the investment. The present moment is the essence of life, yet it is so often overshadowed by regrets about the past and worries about the future. Buddhism teaches us that the here and now is all we truly have, and learning to embrace it is key to living a fulfilled and peaceful life. When we dwell on what has already happened or stress about what might come, we lose the opportunity to experience the richness of the present. This moment, however fleeting, is where life unfolds, and it is only by fully inhabiting it that we can truly live. A timeless story illustrates this beautifully. A monk, pursued by a tiger, finds himself trapped at the edge of a cliff, with the tiger roaring above and the drop below offering no escape. He clings to a vine for dear life. As he dangles there, he notices a single strawberry growing nearby. Instead of succumbing to despair over his predicament, he reaches out, plucks the strawberry, and savors its sweetness. This simple act reflects the profound power of being present. Despite the chaos surrounding him, the monk finds joy in the moment. The story is a reminder that life is made up of countless such strawberries, small, beautiful moments that we often overlook in our rush to solve problems or reach the next milestone. In modern life, the tiger and the cliff can represent our relentless worries and regrets. The tiger might symbolize a looming deadline, a difficult relationship, or a health scare, while the cliff could stand for our fear of failure or uncertainty about the future. But in between these extremes lies the present moment, a space where peace and clarity can be found if we choose to focus on it. Think about how often we miss these moments. It could be a quiet morning when the sun filters through the blinds, the warmth of a cup of coffee in our hands, or the sound of laughter in a conversation. These are the strawberries of our lives, small but deeply meaningful experiences. Mindfulness is a powerful practice that helps us embrace the present. By intentionally focusing on the sensations, sounds, and feelings around us, we train our minds to stay anchored in the now. For example, consider the simple act of eating. How often do we rush through meals while scrolling on our phones or thinking about our next task? By slowing down and paying attention to the texture, flavor, and aroma of each bite, we transform eating into an experience of mindfulness. It's not just about food. It's about being fully present in whatever we do. Another way to cultivate mindfulness is through focused breathing. This practice doesn't require any special equipment or training. It's as simple as taking 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and pay attention to your breath. Notice how it feels as air flows in through your nose and out through your mouth. Observe the rise and fall of your chest, the rhythm of your breathing. When your mind inevitably starts to wander, gently guide it back to the breath. This practice strengthens your ability to focus and brings a sense of calm to your day. Over time, it becomes easier to carry this mindfulness into other aspects of life, whether it's during a meeting, while driving, or even in moments of conflict. Embracing the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future. Reflection and planning are important, but they should not consume us. When we ruminate endlessly about past mistakes, we chain ourselves to experiences we cannot change. Similarly, when we obsess over future uncertainties, we rob ourselves of the ability to enjoy what's happening right now. A balanced approach involves learning from the past, setting intentions for the future, and then returning our focus to the present. It's like driving a car. The rearview mirror and the GPS are useful, but the road ahead requires your attention. The concept of living in the present resonates in everyday experiences. Imagine attending a child's birthday party but spending most of the time checking emails on your phone. You might be physically present, but you miss the laughter, the joy on the child's face, and the chance to connect with others. Contrast this with setting your phone aside and fully immersing yourself in the celebration. The difference is profound, not just for you, but for those around you who feel your presence and engagement. Another relatable example is walking. Many of us walk with our minds elsewhere, thinking about errands, replaying conversations, or worrying about the day's challenges. Practicing mindfulness during a walk transforms it into a grounding experience. Feel the rhythm of your steps, the coolness of the breeze on your skin, and the sound of leaves rustling in the trees. These details, often overlooked, connect us to the present moment and remind us of life's beauty. Mindfulness also helps us navigate emotions more effectively. When we are present, we can observe our feelings without being swept away by them. For instance, imagine feeling anger during a heated argument. Instead of reacting impulsively, mindfulness allows you to pause, acknowledge the emotion, and respond thoughtfully. It's like watching waves crash on a shore. You see them come and go without being pulled under. This awareness creates space for better choices and fosters healthier relationships. In times of difficulty, the practice of embracing the present is particularly valuable. Consider someone experiencing anxiety about a major life decision. The What ifs can feel overwhelming, but mindfulness provides a way to step back and focus on what can be done in the moment. Maybe it's taking a deep breath, listing pros and cons, or simply accepting that some uncertainty is inevitable. By staying present, we regain control over our thoughts and actions, even in challenging situations. Nature often serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of living in the moment. Watching a sunrise or listening to the sound of waves crashing on a beach naturally draws us into the present. These moments feel timeless, not because they last forever, but because they are fully experienced. This connection to nature can be a source of peace and inspiration, encouraging us to carry that sense of presence into our daily lives. Children are another great example of living in the present. A child playing with a toy or exploring a park is completely absorbed in the activity. They're not worried about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. This innate ability to be present is something we often lose as adults, but can relearn through mindfulness practices. Practicing gratitude can also enhance our ability to stay present. When we take a moment to appreciate what's happening right now, we deepen our connection to the present. For example, expressing gratitude for a supportive friend during a conversation helps us focus on their words and presence rather than letting our minds wander. Gratitude anchors us in the now, enriching our experiences and relationships. The practice of embracing the present moment is not about achieving perfection or eliminating distractions entirely. It's about cultivating awareness and making a conscious effort to return to the present when we notice our minds drifting. This effort, though simple, has profound effects on our mental and emotional well-being. By letting go of regrets and worries, we open ourselves to the fullness of life, finding joy in moments both ordinary and extraordinary. Life is happening right now, and by choosing to engage with it fully, we create a deeper, more meaningful experience of being. The pursuit of perfection is a trap that many of us fall into at some point in our lives. It's often presented as an ideal, something to strive for. But the reality is that perfection is an illusion and unattainable standard that only leads to frustration, self-doubt, and exhaustion. Buddhism teaches us to let go of this unrealistic goal and instead focus on living a life of purpose, aligned with our core values and what truly matters to us. This shift from seeking perfection to embracing purpose is liberating, offering a path to genuine fulfillment and happiness. Perfectionism often stems from fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of not being enough. It compels us to constantly seek external validation and measure our worth based on achievements or the approval of others. For instance, think about someone who spends hours editing a simple email, worrying about every word choice, punctuation mark, and tone. While the effort may seem admirable, it's often driven by anxiety rather than a genuine desire to communicate effectively. This kind of perfectionism can paralyze us, making even small tasks feel overwhelming. Over time, it stifles creativity, diminishes joy, and erodes self-confidence. I personally struggled with perfectionism for years, especially in my work. I believed that everything I produced had to be flawless, which meant I would overthink every detail, delay deadlines, and constantly second-guess myself. While this mindset pushed me to work hard, it also drained my energy and left me feeling unsatisfied, no matter how much effort I put in. It wasn't until I began focusing on purpose, what I wanted to achieve, and why, that I found freedom. When I shifted my attention from being perfect to being meaningful, my work became more authentic, and I started to feel a deeper sense of satisfaction. Living with purpose means aligning our actions with our values and passions rather than external expectations. It's about asking ourselves what truly matters and dedicating our energy to those things. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or life-changing. It can be as simple as being a kind person, nurturing relationships, or pursuing a creative hobby. For example, consider someone who loves painting but avoids it because they fear their work isn't good enough. When they let go of the need for perfection and paint purely for the joy of it, they rediscover their passion and experience a sense of fulfillment that perfectionism had previously taken away. Purpose also allows us to embrace imperfection as a natural part of growth. Mistakes become opportunities to learn and adapt rather than failures to be feared. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble and fall countless times. But each fall is a step toward mastering the skill. If they were held back by the fear of falling, they would never take those first steps. Similarly, when we focus on purpose rather than perfection, we become more willing to take risks, try new things, and accept setbacks as part of the journey. This perspective can be applied to all areas of life. Take relationships, for instance. Many people strive for the perfect partner or the perfect marriage, only to feel disappointed when reality doesn't match their expectations. But relationships are not about perfection. They're about connection, growth, and mutual understanding. A couple that focuses on building a meaningful bond rather than trying to meet some ideal standard is more likely to experience lasting happiness. They recognize that conflicts and flaws are opportunities to strengthen their connection, not signs of failure. The workplace is another domain where the pursuit of perfection can be damaging. Employees often feel pressure to deliver flawless results, which can lead to burnout and decreased productivity. Companies that encourage a culture of purpose where employees are motivated by shared values and a sense of contribution tend to have happier, more engaged teams. For example, an organization focused on environmental sustainability might inspire employees to innovate and collaborate because they feel their work has a greater impact. In this environment, mistakes are viewed as learning opportunities rather than personal failures, fostering a culture of growth and creativity. One of the most powerful aspects of focusing on purpose is that it shifts our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Perfectionism is rooted in the belief that we're not enough as we are, that we need to do more, be more, or achieve more to prove our worth. Purpose, on the other hand, recognizes that we already have inherent value. It encourages us to appreciate the process rather than fixating on the outcome. For instance, consider an amateur runner training for their first marathon. If they focus solely on achieving a perfect time, they might miss out on the joy of the journey, the camaraderie of fellow runners, the beauty of the training route, or the sense of accomplishment in simply showing up. By focusing on the purpose of their effort, they can celebrate their progress and enjoy the experience, regardless of the final result. Reflecting on what truly matters is a critical step in aligning our lives with purpose. It requires us to pause and ask ourselves deep, honest questions. What brings me joy? What makes me feel alive and connected to the world? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers to these questions can serve as a compass, guiding us toward a more intentional and meaningful life. For some, purpose might be found in helping others, volunteering at a shelter, mentoring a student, or simply being a supportive friend. For others, it might be about pursuing creative passions, building a family, or advocating for a cause they believe in. Whatever it is, living with purpose is about aligning your daily actions with these values. A practical way to incorporate purpose into your life is by setting small, intentional goals. These don't have to be monumental. They just need to reflect what's important to you. For example, if kindness is one of your core values, you might set a goal to perform one act of kindness each day, whether it's holding the door open for someone, writing a thank you note, or donating to a charity. Over time, these small actions add up, creating a ripple effect that enhances your sense of purpose and positively impacts those around you. Purpose also provides a sense of resilience during challenging times. When life feels overwhelming or uncertain, having a clear sense of what matters most can help you stay grounded. For example, someone going through a career setback might feel devastated if they're focused on achieving perfection. But if their purpose is to learn and grow, they can view the setback as an opportunity to explore new paths or develop new skills. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also fosters a sense of hope and possibility. The beauty of pursuing purpose is that it allows us to let go of comparison. In a world saturated with social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others, whether it's their achievements, appearances, or lifestyles. But when we focus on our own purpose, we realize that everyone's journey is unique. What matters is not how we measure up to others, but how authentically we live according to our own values. This shift in perspective frees us from the pressure of competition and allows us to celebrate our individuality. Ultimately, the pursuit of purpose over perfection is about embracing our humanity. It's about recognizing that we are all imperfect, and that's okay. Our worth is not determined by flawless performances or unblemished records, but by the authenticity, passion, and love we bring to the world. By letting go of perfectionism and embracing purpose, we open ourselves to a richer, more meaningful life, one filled with growth, connection, and joy. Change is one of the few constants in life, yet it is something many people resist. We often cling to the familiar because it provides a sense of stability and comfort. But the truth is that impermanence is a fundamental aspect of existence. In Buddhist philosophy, this idea is not seen as a source of despair, but as an opportunity for growth. Change, while often uncomfortable or even painful, is what allows us to evolve, adapt, and discover new possibilities. It is through change that we learn, expand our horizons, and become more resilient. A classic metaphor for the transformative power of change is the journey of a caterpillar. Initially, the caterpillar's world is small and limited to the ground and the leaves it consumes. When it begins the process of transformation, it enters a cocoon, an environment that may seem confining and uncertain. During this time, the caterpillar undergoes significant change, breaking down its old form to emerge as a butterfly. This process symbolizes the necessity of embracing change to reach our full potential. Without this transformation, the caterpillar would never experience the freedom of flight or the broader perspective that comes with it. In our own lives, we often find ourselves in the position of the caterpillar, faced with transitions that feel daunting or overwhelming. For example, losing a job can be a deeply unsettling experience, as it disrupts our routines and sense of security. However, many people who have gone through this challenge later reflect that it was a turning point that led them to new opportunities, passions, or careers they never would have considered otherwise. Similarly, the end of a relationship, while painful, can be a catalyst for self-discovery, personal growth, and the eventual formation of healthier connections. One of the reasons change feels so difficult is because it often involves loss of familiarity, control, or a sense of identity. When a child transitions from elementary school to middle school, they leave behind the comfort of familiar routines and friends. While this change may initially feel intimidating, it also presents opportunities to make new connections, learn new skills, and gain independence. The same is true for adults. Moving to a new city might mean leaving behind a community, but it also opens doors to new experiences, perspectives, and relationships. The key to navigating change is to shift our mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This question reframes change as a teacher rather than an enemy. For instance, someone facing a serious health diagnosis might initially feel overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty, but by focusing on what they can learn, whether it's adopting healthier habits, building stronger relationships, or gaining a deeper appreciation for life, they can transform a difficult experience into a meaningful journey of growth. Change also teaches us the importance of letting go. In Buddhism, attachment is seen as a source of suffering because it causes us to cling to things that are inherently impermanent. Imagine holding onto a sandcastle as the tide comes in, trying desperately to preserve it. The harder you cling, the more painful it becomes as the waves inevitably wash it away. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or ignoring our feelings. It means accepting that all things, people, possessions, circumstances are temporary. This acceptance allows us to move forward with greater peace and clarity. When facing change, it's helpful to focus on what we can control rather than what we cannot. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many people experienced dramatic changes to their daily lives, from job losses to social isolation. While the external circumstances were largely out of their control, those who adapted by focusing on what they could influence, such as maintaining virtual connections with loved ones, exploring new hobbies, or prioritizing mental and physical health, found it easier to cope. This principle applies to any transition. By breaking down a big change into smaller, manageable steps, we can regain a sense of agency and direction. Small, actionable steps are particularly effective during times of upheaval. For instance, if someone is moving to a new city for work, They might start by researching neighborhoods, reaching out to local communities, and planning their daily routine. These small actions provide a sense of stability and help ease the transition. Similarly, a student starting at a new school might focus on introducing themselves to one new person each day or joining a club to meet like-minded peers. These incremental efforts build momentum and make the larger change feel less overwhelming. Stories of personal growth often emerge from moments of change. Consider the example of J.K. Rowling, who wrote the first Harry Potter book while navigating single motherhood and financial struggles. At the time, her circumstances were far from ideal, but the challenges she faced fueled her creativity and determination. Her story is a powerful reminder that change, even when accompanied by hardship, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Another example is the evolution of technology. Decades ago, the shift from typewriters to computers was met with resistance by many who were accustomed to the old way of doing things. Yet this change revolutionized industries, enhanced productivity, and opened up possibilities that were previously unimaginable. This demonstrates that while change often feels uncomfortable at first, it can ultimately lead to progress and innovation. Even nature provides countless examples of how change fosters growth. Forest fires, for instance, may initially seem destructive, but they play a crucial role in the ecosystem by clearing out deadwood and making way for new growth. Similarly, the changing seasons remind us that life is a cycle of beginnings and endings. Spring emerges from the dormancy of winter, bringing renewal and vitality. These natural processes mirror our own experiences, reinforcing the idea that change is not something to be feared, but embraced as an integral part of life. Resilience is a skill that can be developed through our experiences with change. When we navigate transitions with an open mind and a willingness to adapt, we build our capacity to handle future challenges. For example, someone who successfully navigates a career change might feel more confident in tackling other life transitions, such as moving to a new country or starting a family. Each experience of growth adds to our inner strength, making us more adaptable and resourceful over time. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for managing change. By staying present and focusing on the here and now, we can reduce anxiety about the future and regrets about the past. Imagine someone learning to ride a bike. If they focus too much on the possibility of falling, they may never gain the confidence to move forward. But by concentrating on each pedal stroke, they gradually find their balance and start to enjoy the ride. This principle applies to all types of change. Staying grounded in the present helps us navigate transitions with greater ease and clarity. In the end, change is an inevitable part of life, but it doesn't have to be a source of fear. By embracing impermanence and viewing change as an opportunity for growth, we can transform challenges into stepping stones for a richer, more meaningful existence. Each change, no matter how small or significant, carries with it the potential to teach us something new, expand our horizons, and deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Taking care of your mind and body is not just about maintaining health. It's about cultivating a foundation for a balanced and joyful life. Mental and physical well-being are deeply interconnected, each influencing the other in profound ways. When one is neglected, the other often suffers. Conversely, when both are nurtured, they create a harmonious state that enables you to face life's challenges with resilience and clarity. This principle is simple in concept but transformative in practice, offering a pathway to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Stress is a common factor that disrupts both mental and physical health. Imagine a day when you're overwhelmed with work deadlines, personal responsibilities, and the endless pings of notifications. Your mind races, your body tenses, and by the end of the day, you feel completely drained. This is a cycle many people experience, and it underscores the need to actively care for both aspects of our well-being. The mind and body don't operate in isolation. When your mind is burdened with stress, it can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, fatigue, or even chronic illnesses. Similarly, neglecting physical health, whether through poor diet, lack of exercise, or insufficient sleep, can cloud your mind, making it harder to focus or maintain a positive outlook. Incorporating mindfulness practices is a powerful way to care for your mind. Mindfulness meditation, for instance, involves focusing your attention on the present moment without judgment. This practice calms the mind, reduces stress, and enhances self-awareness. I personally found that adding mindfulness meditation and yoga to my daily routine drastically improved my ability to cope with stress. Even 10 minutes of focused breathing or gentle stretching in the morning can set the tone for the day, creating a sense of calm and intention. Over time, these practices build mental resilience, allowing you to approach challenges with greater clarity and composure. Exercise is equally important for maintaining a healthy connection between the mind and body. Regular physical activity releases endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators, and helps reduce levels of the stress hormone cortisol. You don't need to commit to an intense workout regimen to see the benefits. A brisk walk around your neighborhood, a short yoga session, or even a few minutes of dancing to your favorite music can uplift your mood and energize your body. Think about how refreshed you feel after a simple walk in the park or a quick jog. These activities not only strengthen your body, but also provide a mental reset, breaking the cycle of overthinking or rumination. Nutrition plays a crucial role in this equation as well. The food you eat has a direct impact on your energy levels, mood, and overall health. A balanced diet rich in whole foods, fruits, and vegetables fuels your body and supports brain function. For instance, incorporating omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like salmon and walnuts, has been shown to improve mental health by reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. Staying hydrated is another simple but often overlooked habit that enhances both physical and cognitive performance. Consider how sluggish and irritable you feel when dehydrated compared to the clarity and energy you experience after drinking enough water. Sleep is another cornerstone of mental and physical health. A good night's sleep allows your body to repair itself and your mind to process and organize information. Chronic sleep deprivation, on the other hand, impairs cognitive function, weakens the immune system, and increases the risk of mental health issues. Creating a consistent bedtime routine can significantly improve sleep quality. For example, turning off screens an hour before bed, reading a calming book, or practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing can help signal to your body that it's time to rest. Even small changes, such as adjusting the lighting in your bedroom or investing in a comfortable mattress, can make a big difference. Self-care extends beyond the basics of exercise, nutrition, and sleep. It includes finding time for activities that nourish your soul and bring you joy. Whether it's spending time in nature, pursuing a creative hobby, or connecting with loved ones, these moments of pleasure and relaxation rejuvenate your spirit. For instance, think about the sense of calm you feel after a hike through a forest or the satisfaction of completing a piece of artwork. These activities not only reduce stress, but also foster a sense of purpose and fulfillment, enhancing your overall well-being. Taking care of your mental and physical health also involves setting boundaries and prioritizing your needs. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the demands of work, family, and social obligations. However, constantly putting others' needs ahead of your own can lead to burnout and resentment. Learning to say no when necessary and carving out time for yourself are essential acts of self-care. For example, dedicating an hour each evening to unwind, whether through reading, meditation, or simply sitting quietly, can help recharge your energy and maintain balance. The benefits of caring for your mind and body extend beyond personal well-being. They also enhance your relationships and productivity. When you feel physically strong and mentally at ease, you're better equipped to support others, handle responsibilities, and contribute meaningfully to your community. Imagine being a caregiver or a leader at work. If you're constantly exhausted and stressed, it's difficult to be patient, empathetic, or effective. But when you prioritize your own health, you bring your best self to these roles, creating a positive ripple effect that benefits everyone around you. Mind-body practices, such as yoga, tai chi, and meditation, offer a holistic approach to self-care. These disciplines emphasize the integration of physical movement, breath control, and mindfulness, creating a sense of harmony within. For example, Practicing yoga not only improves flexibility and strength, but also promotes relaxation and mental focus. Similarly, Tai Chi's slow, deliberate movements help reduce stress and improve balance, making it an excellent choice for people of all ages. These practices are accessible and adaptable, allowing anyone to incorporate them into their daily routine regardless of fitness level or experience. Incorporating small, consistent habits into your daily life can have a profound impact on your mental and physical health. Start with just 10 minutes a day, whether it's meditating, stretching, or preparing a nutritious meal, and pay attention to how these practices make you feel. Over time, these small actions build momentum, creating a foundation for long-term health and happiness. For instance, someone who begins with a short morning meditation might gradually expand their practice to include journaling or mindful walks, deepening their connection to themselves and their surroundings. Caring for your mind and body is not about perfection or rigid routines. It's about finding what works for you and being gentle with yourself along the way. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when you feel out of balance. During these times, it's important to remember that self-care is a journey, not a destination. Each effort you make, no matter how small, contributes to your overall well-being. By prioritizing your health, you're not only investing in your own happiness, but also creating the capacity to live fully and authentically. Generosity is a transformative principle that not only benefits those on the receiving end, but also profoundly enriches the giver. The act of giving without expecting anything in return fosters a sense of joy, connection, and purpose. It transcends material wealth, extending to time, knowledge, kindness, and attention. Generosity creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to act with kindness, which in turn builds stronger communities and deeper human bonds. This principle, deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, teaches us that true giving arises from compassion and a genuine desire to contribute to the well-being of others. One powerful story illustrates the transformative nature of selfless giving. A poor man, despite having little to offer, gave his only bowl of rice to a beggar. This simple yet profound act of kindness inspired the entire village. Witnessing his generosity, others began to share their resources, and what initially seemed like scarcity transformed into abundance. This story reminds us that generosity is not about the size of the gift, but the intention behind it. When we give freely and with an open heart, we create a culture of giving that uplifts everyone involved. Generosity is not limited to grand gestures or significant donations. In fact, the simplest acts of kindness often have the most immediate impact. Imagine holding the door open for someone whose arms are full, offering a warm smile to a stranger, or listening intently to a friend who is going through a tough time. These small actions may seem inconsequential, but they can brighten someone's day and foster a sense of connection. For instance, think about how you feel when someone compliments you unexpectedly or offers their seat on a crowded bus. These moments, though fleeting, leave a lasting impression and often inspire you to pay it forward. Time is one of the most valuable gifts you can give. In a world where everyone seems busy, dedicating your time to help someone else is a powerful way to show care and compassion. Whether it's mentoring a younger colleague, volunteering at a local shelter, or simply spending an afternoon with an elderly neighbor, giving your time demonstrates that you value the other person. For example, a teacher who spends extra hours tutoring struggling students not only helps them academically, but also boosts their confidence and shows them that they matter. The impact of such actions often extends far beyond the immediate moment. Generosity also plays a vital role in building and strengthening relationships. When we give selflessly, we nurture trust and goodwill, creating a foundation for deeper connections. Imagine a coworker who shares credit for a successful project, recognizing the contributions of others rather than claiming all the praise. This act of generosity fosters a positive work environment and encourages collaboration. Similarly, in friendships or romantic relationships, small acts of giving, whether it's cooking a favorite meal, writing a thoughtful note, or simply being there during difficult times, strengthen the bond and remind both parties of their mutual care and support. The power of giving without expectation lies in its ability to shift our focus from ourselves to others. When we act generously, we cultivate a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. This mindset allows us to see the interconnectedness of all people and recognize that our well-being is tied to the well-being of those around us. Consider a community coming together to support a family in need after a house fire. Each contribution, whether it's clothing, money, or emotional support, helps the family rebuild while also strengthening the community's sense of solidarity and shared purpose. Generosity doesn't just benefit the recipient. It also enhances the giver's sense of happiness and fulfillment. Studies in psychology have shown that acts of kindness trigger the release of endorphins, sometimes referred to as the helper's high. For example, a person who donates to a charitable cause often experiences a boost in mood and a sense of satisfaction. Similarly, volunteering provides a sense of purpose and connection, reducing feelings of loneliness and depression. This positive feedback loop encourages further acts of generosity, creating a cycle of kindness that benefits everyone involved. One common misconception is that generosity requires wealth or abundant resources. However, some of the most meaningful acts of giving cost nothing at all. Lending a listening ear, offering words of encouragement, or sharing your knowledge with someone who could benefit are all powerful forms of generosity. For instance, think about a friend who takes the time to listen to your worries without judgment or interruption. Their willingness to be present for you is a gift that money can't buy. These moments of connection remind us that generosity is about the intention to uplift and support, not the material value of what is given. Teaching generosity to children is another way to cultivate a culture of kindness. Simple practices, like encouraging kids to share their toys or involve them in charitable activities, help instill the value of giving from an early age. For example, a family might volunteer together at a food bank or participate in a community cleanup event. These experiences teach children that their actions, no matter how small, can make a difference. By normalizing generosity as a way of life, we raise compassionate individuals who contribute positively to society. Generosity also challenges us to let go of attachment and ego. When we give with the expectation of receiving something in return, whether it's recognition, gratitude, or a favor, our actions are no longer purely selfless. True generosity involves releasing these expectations and giving simply because it feels right. Consider the difference between donating anonymously to a cause you care about and making a public donation to gain recognition. The former reflects a selfless intention, while the latter is driven by external validation. By practicing selfless giving, we free ourselves from the need for approval and focus instead on the joy of contributing. In challenging times, generosity can be a source of strength and resilience. During natural disasters, for instance, communities often come together to support those affected, demonstrating the power of collective generosity. People donate food, clothing, and money, volunteer their time for relief efforts, or simply offer emotional support to those in need. These acts of giving not only help rebuild lives, but also reinforce the idea that we are stronger together. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, countless individuals and organizations stepped up to provide meals for healthcare workers, check on elderly neighbors, and share resources with those facing financial hardship. These acts of generosity created a sense of hope and unity during a time of uncertainty. Practicing daily acts of kindness is a simple yet effective way to incorporate generosity into your life. It could be something as small as letting someone merge into your lane during traffic, complimenting a coworker on their hard work, or paying for the coffee of the person behind you in line. These gestures, though minor, have the potential to brighten someone's day and inspire them to pass on the kindness. For example, a stranger who receives a compliment might feel more confident and motivated, leading them to spread positivity in their interactions with others. Generosity also extends to self-compassion. Taking care of yourself, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your needs allow you to give more freely to others without feeling drained or resentful. For example, a caregiver who neglects their own well-being may eventually experience burnout, making it difficult to continue supporting others. By practicing self-care, They ensure they have the energy and emotional capacity to give generously without compromising their own health. This balance is crucial for sustaining a life of giving and connection. Ultimately, generosity is about recognizing our shared humanity and acting with compassion to uplift those around us. It reminds us that we are all interconnected and that our individual actions have the power to create positive change on a broader scale. Whether through small, everyday acts or larger, intentional efforts, giving without expecting anything in return fosters joy, strengthens relationships, and contributes to a kinder, more compassionate world. Happiness is not an endpoint to be reached, but an ongoing practice that requires intentional effort and mindfulness. It's not about achieving a perfect life devoid of problems, but about cultivating a mindset and lifestyle that allows you to find joy and resilience regardless of circumstances. Embracing principles like gratitude, nurturing relationships, staying present, and giving selflessly transforms happiness from a fleeting emotion into a sustainable way of living. Gratitude serves as the foundation for a fulfilling life. When you consciously appreciate what you already have, you shift your focus from scarcity to abundance. Instead of yearning for what's missing, you recognize the blessings that surround you every day: a sunny morning, a kind word, or the simple pleasure of a favorite meal. This practice of gratitude rewires your brain to notice and savor the positive aspects of life, making joy a more natural and frequent experience. Think about the last time you paused to truly enjoy something simple, like the laughter of a loved one or the beauty of a sunset. Those moments, when appreciated fully, are what happiness is made of. Building and maintaining strong relationships is another critical aspect of a happy life. Human connection is one of our most profound sources of joy and meaning. When you invest in your relationships, whether with family, friends, or your community, you create a network of support and belonging. These bonds provide not only companionship, but also resilience during difficult times. Consider how a heartfelt conversation with a friend can uplift your spirit, or how spending quality time with loved ones can renew your sense of purpose. These moments of connection remind us that we are not alone and that joy is often shared. Staying present in the moment is a practice that requires patience and commitment, but yields profound rewards. Life is happening right now, yet we often miss it because we are preoccupied with regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Mindfulness allows you to fully experience the richness of the present. Whether you're enjoying a meal, walking in nature, or simply sitting in silence, it's about noticing the small details: the taste of your food, the feel of the breeze, or the rhythm of your breath, and appreciating them without judgment. Practicing mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges, but rather approaching them with clarity and calmness, making it easier to navigate even the toughest situations. Selfless giving is another cornerstone of lasting happiness. Acts of generosity, whether big or small, create a ripple effect that benefits both the giver and the receiver. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, you cultivate a sense of abundance and purpose. For example, volunteering at a shelter, mentoring a colleague, or even offering a genuine compliment can brighten someone's day while also enriching your own life. Generosity strengthens your connection to others and reinforces the idea that happiness grows when shared. The joy of giving transcends material value, reminding us that kindness and compassion are some of the most powerful forces in the world. Applying these principles in daily life doesn't require a complete overhaul of your routine, but rather small, intentional actions that align with your values. Start by identifying one principle that resonates with you most and commit to practicing it consistently. If gratitude speaks to you, try keeping a daily journal where you list 3 things you're thankful for. If nurturing relationships feels essential, make it a point to reach out to a friend or spend uninterrupted time with a loved one. If staying present is your focus, dedicate 5 minutes a day to mindfulness meditation or simply take a mindful walk. And if giving selflessly is your goal, look for opportunities to help someone in need, whether through time, resources, or a kind gesture. These principles are not only timeless, but also universally applicable. They remind us that happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on how we choose to engage with the world. By practicing gratitude, building meaningful connections, staying present, and giving freely, you create a life filled with purpose, joy, and resilience. Happiness, then, becomes not an elusive goal but an intrinsic part of who you are. Every step you take in this direction brings you closer to a deeper sense of fulfillment and peace. Now that we've explored the path to a happier life, here's the question. Which principle resonated most with you? Is it the transformative power of gratitude, the joy of building stronger relationships, or the freedom that comes with staying present? Perhaps it's the courage to embrace change, the peace of letting go of perfection, or the fulfillment found in selfless giving. Whatever it is, remember this: happiness isn't a finish line or a prize waiting at the end of a long race. It's in the way you approach each moment, the connections you nurture, and the kindness you share. These principles aren't just lessons. They're tools for creating a life filled with meaning and resilience, no matter what challenges come your way. So, I challenge you to take one step today. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Reach out to someone you care about, or take 5 minutes to simply breathe and be present. These simple actions have the power to transform your life over time. If this video inspired you, let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Which principle will you focus on first? Your insight might just inspire someone else to embark on their own journey toward happiness. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends or family who could benefit from this wisdom, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join our growing community of seekers dedicated to living with purpose and joy. Until next time, take care of yourself, cherish the moment, and stay on the path to happiness.